All right. What's going on, YouTube? This is your boy, King of Hearts, coming at you early this morning. So you get my little hat game going on here, or my beanie. You know what? I thought for sure, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wake up this morning, and I'm gonna give you guys a little pre-trip walkthrough. For those that are going to trucking school, you're probably already seeing this stuff, but if you're not, it gives you a good overview of what does it look like. So make sure you get some gloves before you come to trucking school. You're gonna need them. It's gonna be on the list. You can go to Walmart, spend about 10 bucks, if that much. You're gonna need them though. You don't want to get your hands all greasy. This will be a lot of stuff to be touching, so make sure you get that. First thing you want to do is check the front of your truck. And I got my hood up already, but I don't know if anybody knows. I got the Samsung Galaxy 8 Plus, the new one. And I think the craziest thing about this phone that I don't like, the one thing, I mean, it's a slick phone, looks really nice. Oh man, hold on guys, my camera got blurry for a second there. All right, there we go. But when you're recording, you can't freaking switch between your front face camera and back face camera, which is retarded. When you're taking pictures, you can do it, boom, you just hit the button, it just does it. But when you're recording a video, I looked it up the other day, and it was like, nope, when you're recording, if you're doing front face recording, you're stuck with that. You have to pause, then switch over, and then keep on doing. I mean, I guess if you're, uploading videos on YouTube, you can just keep on switching and pausing and stopping, but it's just crazy that you can't just switch in between the video like on most cameras. So first thing you're gonna do, you walk up to your truck and you're gonna check the front of it. I got the hood up, but the reason you check the front of it is you're checking your lights. You also want to check on the ground and make sure there's no puddle. You're gonna check the side of it to make sure that it's not leaning. I'm sorry that if I'm not showing you too much here, but yeah, you want to make sure it's not leaning. If it's leaning, it's an indication that there's a shift in your load, that there's a flat tire, or something like that. So then you want to take a look and to see what's going on. When you get out the truck, so the cool thing about Kenworth, because I trained on a Kenworth when I drive a Freightliner, Kenworths have a light indicator button, which is like a light tester. You push that switch, and it cycles through all your lights, your brake lights, your signal lights, your four ways, your freaking high beam, low beam. It's pretty damn cool because you can test all your lights. Now for me, since I drive a Freightliner, most people that drive a Freightliner, the only thing I can do is I can turn on my lights and turn on my four ways, which then allows me still to check my indicators and my signal lights and stuff like that. I won't be able to check my brake lights, and I won't be able to check my my freaking four ways. I mean, I'm a high beam, stuff like that, unless I get out and then do it that way. So either way, it's okay. Not a big deal though. So you check your windshield wiper fluids here. Now, windshield wiper fluids with Swift is free. You don't have to worry about that. So once again, you take a jug to Swift whenever you go to a terminal, you fill it up, and boom, they give it to you. So you have to worry about that. Back to the lights real quick. Make sure you go check all your lights on your truck, every single light. If there's one light out, you're asking for DOT to pull you in, and that's just a problem. You probably don't want to deal with that. So once again, you want to check every single light, your top lights, your front lights, your side lights, your trail lights, your back lights, all the lights on your truck on the exterior, make sure they're working. So then over here, let me see if I can get a better way to show you guys, and I can still see what I'm showing you. So you have your engine belt here. You want to make sure your engine belt is not loose. There's no deflection in it. You have your alternator down here. You want to check your alternator belt. Hold on. I know it's not the best view with this whole back facing, front facing thing, but you got your alternator belt down here. You check your alternator, make sure it's loose. It's not loose or anything right here. Make sure your wires and everything are connected. You got your hoses up here. You want to check your hoses and make sure they got clamps. There's no abrasion, bulges, or cuts. It's not leaking or anything. Obviously, you want to check to make sure there's no puddle on the ground. Make sure there's no puddle on the ground there. Now with your brakes, You know, right here you got your brake chamber. Then you have your pins. You want to make sure your pins and everything are there. Your push rods and everything. You want to check all this to just make sure everything is secure with your brakes. And then your tires, obviously, since you're here, you'll do all your tires the same. Your steers, which are your front tires, and are going to be different depth than you got for your tandems and your drive and stuff like that. So you just really depends on if you have a tool where you can check the thread to make sure you have the right threading. But most of the time you're just checking for inflation and making sure that they're not flat and that they're not worn really bad. Swift actually increased their threading. It's normally like, I think it went to 38 something. They increased it for the winter, so that way you get better wear. I mean, you get longer wear in the tires. I forgot what they increased it to. I don't want to get out here and start throwing numbers, but really you're just testing your tires. You need to make sure it's evenly worn, and that there's no cuts or anything on there. Like I said, there's no excessive wear. Also, then we're gonna walk on the other side. So you got everything. It's not too hard. You know, over here you have your coolant. You want to make sure your coolant is at or above the normal level. So they have a little marker on here that you want to check there to make sure it's there. You're gonna have to purchase that. That's something you are gonna have to buy. I can't remember. I don't think they do. If you have a cooler, they refill it for you. I don't know for sure. I think it's just windshield wiper and oil that they refill. So you have your oil here, and I'm gonna do it, but I'm not gonna do it with the camera. Then you have your dipstick here. You can check that. And if people that don't know how to pull it out, your dipstick. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm flipping this camera around. You just turn it. It unlocks it. All right. And then it just pulls right out. And then what it does is it has a line down here. I'm trying to show you at the end of it, and you check it, and it'll say fill at the fill line and stuff like that. And you want to make sure it's just there. Now, oil again is free with Swift. You can take. They give you an oil container when you get your truck. Anytime you at a Swift terminal, you just take it in there and fill it up. You don't have to worry about it, which is pretty damn cool. So right here, you got your air compressor and your power steering pump is in the back here. I don't know if you can see it. And your air compressor down here. You want to just make sure that they're securely mounted, that it's not leaking anything, it's not cracked. Then you move down. You want to check your fluids here. You want to make sure that there's no fuel rising in here. This is something they won't teach you at school. But you want to make sure that it's no fuel in here. That's a sign that it's obviously not operating right. So you got your steer gear box here. Checking that. You got your steer arm. You want to make sure that that's not loose. Drag link, pitman arm. You want to check all that. So like I said, this is why it's dirty, if you can still see it. But you want to check all this. You got your cotter pin. This is what they call. Let me make sure I can show it to you. Man, I'm trying to get I gotta get the direction of my hand. Cotter pin and castle nut. You want to make sure you have them. They are not missing. Critical. You don't want piece to fall out. Once again, it's kind of sorry for being so hard here because of the camera. I can't really point out. You got your tie rod down here. Hold on, let me adjust this camera. Right there. That's gonna go across. And then you got your spring. I know this is not the best video, guys. I'm gonna have to switch and get another camera to hopefully get better videos. So you got your spring mounts, and you got your spring leaves. You want to make sure that they're not shifted, they're not broken. For one, they're not missing, obviously. You got your U-bolts. So you got a lot of different components, and then your tire brake systems are going to be the same. You'll do this brake systems the same as you did over there. So your brake chamber here. You got your push rod slack adjuster. You got your pins. You also want to check inside your brakes. You want to make sure inside of your brakes they don't have any grease or anything coming through it. You want to make sure they're good. Once again, you can check your brake drums here. And you got your brakes there. So with your tires, once you get all that, And I know it's not the best in depth, but I'm just trying to give you kind of an overview. Once you get out here and you do it, you're gonna just know it. So your tires, you want to check your, with your tires is gonna be your, you got your B flank. So this is gonna be this part that goes around here. So you want to check your B flank right there. You got your oxy rim. You want to make sure there's no legal wells, there's no cracks in anything. You want to make sure that with your bolts here, you don't see any like silver threading. If you see any type of silver threading in anything, that would be an indication of like a loose. Oh man, hold on. The silver threading would be an indication of like a loose nut. And you got your oil seal here in the center. That's going to be showing you the oil seal for your tires. And you just want to make sure everything is secure here. Obviously, you got your valve stem down here too. You want to make sure it's not bent or anything. And you got your reflectors. Let me put this hood down. Hold on. Oh, and I don't think I showed you guys. So on the Freightliners, they have little hooks right here. That hook to keep your hood down. Hopefully you guys can see it here. Just goes right up in there, hook in there. We use Volvos at the school, which is a little different. And then you have like another one over here that your hook in there. You hook in, and the Volvos are a little different. I think you can just pull those ones out. They got a little thing. And then the Kenworths are a little different also. So each truck is going to be designed a little different when how to open and close your hood there. So once again, you do some other stuff. You want to check your mirrors and everything. If you do a full pre-trip, once again in the morning time, you're going to notice that you want to do a really thorough one. Still checking all the critical stuff, your tires, you know, all the components of your engine. But you're not going to go to, oh, let me check my fire hose, my fire extinguisher. You're going to just check that regardless when you're in the truck. Your mirrors, your door seal, the stuff they're going to teach you in school. But I'm going to show you obviously what kind of I do in the morning time to make sure. So then you got your connectors here. You got your emergency line air. You got your air line. And then you got your electrical cable here. You want to make sure these are all fastened correctly. Now let me show you these. These little things inside will break. They give you some, and let me see, make sure you can see it. It's a little black rubber. They tend to crack. And it's critical because they seal the air. If it cracks, you need to change it. And the way you're going to know it is you're going to hear air leaking. Whenever you hear air leaking, when you hear air continue to flow through inside the truck, you're here when you pushing your knobs. You hear the air coming through. Or if you're out here and you hear it, pull over, fix it. Do not continue to drive. This is your braking system here for your brakes for your trailer. It is critical. It's not something to mess around with. It's not something, oh, it'll be okay, you know, that noise. No, pull over, look at it, and fix it. Obviously, you got your line here, your electrical lines, and this is for your brake lights. It has a little clip there, a little locking thing right there. You want to make sure it's there so it doesn't come out. You want to make sure that your cable is not like dangling all down into the ground or not all twisted up. You make sure it's nice and neat. DOT will hit you on that when you drive through there. And you want to make sure it's connected here. Your fuel tanks, you want to just make sure that your knob and everything is on there tight. It's not missing. Make sure your catwalk is clear. This is the catwalk. Make sure there's nothing there that's moving around. Now, once again, I talk about lights. There's a light up there at the top of your trailer. You want to make sure that light is on and working properly. All right. So then down here you have your drive tires. So you do have a thumper. So you go through and you test all your tires. I'm not gonna do it right now. I'm gonna do it when I finish the video. But you test all the tires for inflation. But you check your drives the same as you do your steers, the brakes and everything, with like 4 exceptions. I want to say it's the thread, the airbags, they're dualies, so you want to make sure nothing in between. And I got the last one. I'm trying to think back to school, man. It's been a minute. But I know I thought it was 4, maybe it's only 3. But airbags, they're dualies, and the tread theft, the treading is going to be more because these are your drives. So these tires are going to be more traction tires than really your steers up there. So looking in between your tires, it's just like I said, looking in between the tires. You just want to make sure nothing's in between there. Now it's funny, Swift just put these flow things on here. It's gonna be interesting in the winter time when you try to put chains on there. I probably need to try to put chains on before it gets snowing, start to snow. Even though if it's snowing and I need to put chains on, I'm probably just gonna pull over. That's the philosophy that I know a lot of people go by, and I'm probably gonna do that same, because if I need to worry about traction that much where chains are required, it's probably your percentage of still getting the wrecking and sliding is still super high. Chains don't mean does not mean that you're gonna drive, you know, it's safe. Chains don't mean, oh, it's safe to drive now because you have chains on. No, chains are just there to try to help you get through that bad weather, but still you're in a really hazardous situation, and it's probably best to pull over. So my fifth wheel is, once again, it's kind of hard to show you. Your fifth wheel is back there, so you want to check a couple things. You know, you got your airlines, you got the skid plates, you got your frame, you got your kingpin. It's a lot of different things that you're gonna check, and the biggest thing with that is you want to check your kingpin. You want to make sure your kingpin is in place. You want to make sure your kingpin is in locking position. I'm gonna go in here and show it to you. If you can see it up there, all the way up there, in between the skid plate, there's a little, my kingpin is dependent from the trailer. Hopefully you can hear me. There's a little metal bar that goes across. That's how you know that your kingpin is in a locking position, which is critical. You got brakes back here. These are your airbags, so you want to check them with your drives. You obviously want to make sure that your landing gear is up. You're going to walk down your trailer, you want to check all your DLT reflective tape. You want to check your reflector. Once again, you got your signal light on, so your 4-way's on, so the light's going to come on. You got your tandems here. Now, I got this trailer yesterday. This is an old trailer. I think it's an old trailer. Anyway, I had not seen this, but this is the tandem. Normally, there's a little tandem arm that you pull, and it allows you to release the pin right there. This is a pin. This has a little button here that you pull out, and you pull that button out, and it's like an air. It still releases it, but I've never seen that. It's my first time seeing it, where it even says it's a quick draw. Maybe it's new, maybe it's old. I don't know. I just never seen it before until I got on this trailer. And the way the trailer looks, it looks old. All your wires right here for your airlines and everything. You want to make sure you're not dragging on the ground. And then most of your trailers, you want to have it pulled all the way forward with your kingpin. So as far as you can have it pulled forward, it's just better. It's just better when you get your weight. So each kingpin slot, each hole on that kingpin, it's about 200 pounds. So if you're overweight on your trailer or your drives, you can then move your tandems to adjust that weight. Now these are dualies, so you're gonna do the dualies the same as everything else that you would do like you do your drives. Check the airbag, check your in-between, stuff like that. This has the lights, everything. The back of your trailer, you wanna make sure it's secure. We have a lock here, a code lock. Then you have your, obviously you have your seal. You just wanna make sure your door is secure. When you're in the back, you can't check your brake lights, but you can obviously check your signal lights on both sides. And you wanna check your lights up top. You make sure they are all functioning. So, once again, you're walking the other side of the trailer, the same thing. Now, people say this, I haven't had it. I haven't even had people talk bad about Swift since I've been on the road. Maybe it's me. You know, I feel confident in my ability to drive when I back up. Like last night, you know, this place was packed. And it was a truck right here. It was a truck on the other side of me. And they was working, they had 2 trucks in the shop in front of me. And the way to get in here, it was almost like a semi-blind back in, because you came in that way, but then you had to turn around. I had to do like a little U to get in here. And I just feel confident in my back. I'm not saying I'm great. I just take my time. It took me about 3 or 4 back ends to get in here. But then I was walking up there and the driver was like, man, you really did a good job. I was like, yeah, you know, it was one of the things where just take your time. Don't worry about if what people are looking at you and stuff like that. It's just be safe. As long as you're safe, you get out and look, you're good. But one thing I say about Swift is that you want to always check this is your release arm. I don't know if you can see it, but that right there, this is your release arm for your trailer. Now, when you are a Swift driver, they say that, oh, people will come and just to mess with you and want to see you fail, which I don't understand why. That they will pull that arm on you. I think that is ridiculous, because how petty can you be? We are all truck drivers, but you want to check it. You know, it's just one of the things you want to check. I heard that they will change your airlines, so they will change your emergency airlines and switch it. Something you just want to check. So when you do get out your truck at truck stops and stuff like that, excuse me, sorry about that. Just make sure when you come back, you walk your truck. I don't ever get in my truck, never. If I'm out of my truck, even if I go to a rest stop, even if I go to a rest stop, I do not get out of my truck. I mean, I don't get back in my truck without walking completely around it, like all the way, and checking it briefly. I mean, it takes you 1 minute to walk around, check the locking arm, walk around, check the back of my trailer, and check the freaking my airlines. It saves you time, it saves you a headache in the future. So once again, hopefully that helped you out this morning. I think I showed you guys the inside of the truck, just in case you haven't been in it. So for one, it's enough space in here. I'm not gonna lie. I'm about 6 feet tall, 250 pounds. My head is not even close to touching the roof. So space, it is space. Now, 2 people in this truck, it can get kind of, you know, a little fishy then. I mean, you get a little tight, but it's still maneuverable. You know, you still can get around. But so in the front of the truck, so you have a couple different things for privacy. They have these curtains. You have certain curtains here that you can close to shut the whole truck, and that way when you'll be private at nighttime. This is the front of the truck here. I mean, it's, you know, it's not too crazy. You got your trailer arm airlines here. You got your parking brake. You got your trailer brake here. Let me see if I can get you. This is an automatic. So with an automatic, this is how you use it right here. You pretty much push this little knob button in here, and when you're you can move it from drive, reverse, neutral, stuff like that. Pretty easy, nothing too crazy. You have your engine brake, which helps you from going downhill and stuff like that. That's on my steering wheel. It's a little button right here. I have cruise control, which is really nice. You can just set your cruise control. And the cool thing about in the Freightliners I hear, that they have this little thing here. I forgot what it's called. But it pretty much tells you how fast the person in front of you is driving. And it keeps distance. When you set it on cruise control, it keeps you at that distance. It keeps you at a safe distance. So I think it's like 14 feet or whatever it is. It keeps you away from them, and you just set it. And going down the hill is beautiful, especially if you got another truck in front of you, and you're going down a steep incline or decline. That you can set your cruise control maybe at 55, whatever you're going down the hill, and that you can cruise behind them. They're gonna have their engine brake on anyway. They're gonna be going down the hill slow. It will just coast you on down the hill, man. So you have a couple other things here, knobs. This is the Qualcomm right there. You have down below that, this is going to be to release the air, if you can see that. Hold on, let me make sure. No, I'm sorry about that. I need to fix this whole camera thing if I'm going to be doing this, because this is crazy. But this is to release the air out of your airbags and your drive, so you can unhook from the trailer. This is going to be your fifth wheel sliding, so if you need to slide your fifth wheel, so the same as you slide your tandems, you can slide your fifth wheel to adjust the weight. And this is going to be right here if you're spinning out. It pretty much hooks your axles. It pretty much locks them, so that way all your tires are not turning separately. They'll turn together. Obviously, you got your heating, air conditioner, stuff like that. dome lights. You got engine brake low, high, and medium. So with your engine brake being low, high, and medium, what that means is that
trip vital in 60
you pretty
seconds.
much, it's how much your engine's working to keep your, you know, when you're going downhill. Because you don't want to be just pushing on your brakes. That's how you heat up your brakes, and that's how you start smoking your brakes. And that's what you probably see a lot of these truckers do. It's pretty much where you know, how much pushback their engine's going to do. And I keep mine on medium. If I'm heavy, like super heavy, which you know, sometimes you are, I put it on high then. See that engine light? Check engine light? On Freightliners, that's called idle light. That means that in about 5 minutes after starting your truck is then going to idle and shut down because it has on a Freightliners. What you do is you then push on your brakes, brake pedal twice, and it like overrides that. So that way, now Swift or your company can see that. They don't normally say anything if it's like okay. If you're like idling and it's like, you know, 20 degrees outside and you got the heat on, which you shouldn't need the heat on. See how it comes through on my Qualcomm? It'll be like, oh, you're idle, you know, in violation. But you have a butt warmer back there, which I'll show you, and you can pretty much use that. So really, the only time you be idle a lot is in the summertime because you need to have the AC on. Let's see. All right, get you some lights. You have a ton of lighting back here. Back here in the back, you have a little panel. So you got your bed light, the light behind me. Then you have your top light. You have your rear light. You even can shut down speakers. So if you have a team and somebody's in the front listening to music, you can push this button and it'll shut the music off back here, so that way you can sleep. You got power outlets everywhere. You got here, back there. You got them everywhere. You can control your AC and everything back here. You got your vent right here in your face, which is beautiful. This is your bump warmer right here. So you push that little button. Well, the truck is on, so it won't work. But you push this and it cuts on, and you can set it to whatever temperature you want. So if you want it at 75, I think last night I set it at 75, and I actually had to turn it down to like 72. But it keeps you warm, no problem. I mean, it does its job. They have little vents back here too. This is not this. They said it's just a Freightliner. Some people I see where they be like, oh, I got a Freightliner Cascadia. You don't. I don't think Fleet even have the Cascadias. They have windows and stuff in there. This has a little vent here. It's pretty cool. You can vent it out and get some air in here, which is definitely nice. It has a little fan. I mean, they kind of set you up that way you can have some circulation back here when you're doing that. Space wise, you got your space over here. Got your TP, toilet tissue. I have that here. I have my Bible here, obviously. Gotta keep the word with me. You have a door here. This is gonna be a closet. I don't have too much stuff in here, but you got some clothes in here. Towels, extra set of clothes, hangers. You can hang your stuff up here. Then you have a little desk here, which is cool. So at nighttime, I'll put my laptop on here and I'll watch movies and stuff like that. Or when you're writing. You have a space down here. Normally I have I have a little small like bag. I'll show you. Like this is my going into truck stop bag. It's like really small. Nothing too crazy. Toothbrush, all my essential stuff, you know, just have that with you. Got my backpack, obviously, keep with you. I have a power inverter, which is pretty cool. So they give you that power inverter, so you can get some power in here. This is where another cover here, snacks. Now, normally, if this was my truck, I would hopefully, and I mean, if it was like, I keep on telling people, like, what do you want my truck? Because I'm hoping, in my plan is that in 6 months to a year, that I'm gonna lease, and then I'm gonna probably get either a Freightliner Cascadia or a KW, whatever. And then I'm gonna really put some work into my truck. I'm gonna hook it up to how I want it. Because you're limited on things you can do in a company truck just because of different things, you know. So, but once again, this is my little food thing. Yes, pink. It's my wife gave it to me. Don't try to judge me. Real men can wear pink. But you got some space there for your food. You can fit a refrigerator in here if you could probably get like a little mini one. I was thinking about it, haven't made a full decision. Space down here. I normally keep water bottles down there. I normally I use like a pack of water, so especially in the summertime. I got my refrigerator. I need to change. We had an extra refrigerator at my house, so I put this one in here, which is okay. It's a little too big. They have the other, I'll probably get a smaller one, because the smaller one you can turn it and fit it the other way, so that way when I use it I have to take it out. But whatever, right now it does the job. Up here, keep my cleaning supplies, stuff like that. Once again, it could be another space you could use for something else, but I have my cleaning supplies. If I get sick, you always want to keep your medicine with you. I keep my little NyQuil and stuff. You want to get some wipes. It's disgusting. Wipe your truck down, guys, please. Nobody's gonna do it for you. You know, this is not, you don't have your wife here. What the hell is this? Got some suckers and stuff. Oh man, I found the sucker here. Maybe cheating that today. But yeah, first aid kit, have it. Once again, the thing about being out here, guys, you don't have that mother. I mean, if you're married anyway, like me, you don't have a wife there that's gonna take care of you. You're gonna have to take care of yourself. This is my bunk up here. I don't have a mattress up here yet. I have extra bags here for when I go home, small bags. They gave me this at Swift when I was at Phoenix. It's a little cleaner here, which is pretty cool for ice and stuff like that in the winter time, man. It's pretty, you know, it's pretty nice. I gotta, you know, hook it up. These little nets that you see, it's supposed to be where when you're, and I'm not saying I didn't do it, but when you're team driving and you're actual driving and the person in the back is sleeping, they're supposed to keep that net on. It's a good thing. It keeps you safe. If you get in an accident, you don't go flying. It can save your life, but it's definitely uncomfortable because it feels like he holds you down. So, little long video, guys. Here, this is my longest video, man. Hopefully it wasn't too much information. I apologize. If it was, let me know. I will definitely won't do it again. But I just felt good this morning, guys. I woke up and I wanted to give y'all guys some views on some of the stuff. Hopefully helped out. This is your boy King of Hearts. Have a great day. It's Wednesday, hump day, middle of the week, man. Friday's almost here. I'm gonna hit the road. I'll talk to you guys and girls later. Love what you do what you love, never give up. And if you're gonna get into this business, why not do it now? Don't wait, just get it done. Talk to you later.